Welcome back to another Habs Daily News with your hockey coach, Guru Coach Frenchy, episode number 72. Today we're going to talk about between Jeff PETRY and Mike Matheson, why I believe they are really similar players in NHL. Don't go nowhere. But before you start, you know the drill. Please click on the like, subscribe to the show below this video. Tell me, what do you think about the episode number 72? And let's dive in and talking about 72. Of course, PETRY, Matheson, similar. Shedding cap salary. How Montreal can do something to drop a couple of $1 million. I'm going to show to you the Rockets roster at this moment. MONTEMBEAULT re-signed with the Montreal Canadiens, and a couple of news, NHL news today. Oh, here we go, guys. Jeff PETRY versus Mike Matheson. Many points in common. Jeff PETRY got traded from the Edmonton Oilers to the Montreal Canadiens in 2015. When he got traded, he got his best year in NHL at that date in 2015. He had a very good year with Edmonton Oilers. Greg McDavid did not like him a lot, but he recognized his last season, PETRY have a good year. So he got traded for the Montreal Canadiens. What is something similar? Mike Matheson got traded from Pittsburgh to Montreal Canadiens, and he just did his best year in NHL with 11 goals. When you're watching them skating with or without the puck, they have a similar stride. They're really good skater in NHL. And one thing they are very good, of course, is one on the backwards. They are really similar. Their crossover is good. They keep their skate wide, and they give them a chance to stay balanced. But when you're watching them, I'll be honest with you, they are really, really similar. Only different, one is right defenseman and one is left defenseman. The only thing I would say to you where they are similar but it's not good is when they play on the hill. How you play on your hill in hockey is when the defenseman is not control his cap control. When he let the other players get their speed, and when they have become now on the hill, they get beat many times. So very important for them, they have a good defensive side coverage with their cap control. All of them at this moment, they get their progression at their peak at 27 years old. Same situation with PETRY when he came to Montreal. Same situation happening right now to Mike Matheson. He's going to turn 28 when he's going to start with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, let's move on to the next thing. The only problem they got, both of them, they got exposed too early when they came to the NHL. They jumping on the first pairing defenseman, and that's what's not very good for them. They make a lot of mistakes against the opponent team where they play against the best line. That's one reason they struggle on the defensive zone. When they are on the right chair, you have to put them, honestly, both on the second pairing defenseman. And I believe PETRY is going to be great in Pittsburgh because he's going to be behind Letang. He did the same thing when he was behind Weber. That's something Matheson have to happening now for him, is to be in the second pairing defenseman with the Montreal Canadiens. Could maybe not happen right away now here this year, but I think they're going to protect him and play behind Edmondson. So for me, I believe that would be fine for Mike Matheson. In hockey, guys, the progression of front players come always with a maturity. You're not the same players at 28 compared when you was at 2021. That's just normal. So the maturity play a big role on the progression and improvement for the players. Now, the Montreal Canadiens hope they hit another home run like they did with Jeff PETRY. So it'll be interesting to follow for the next 2-3 years Mike Matheson and compare that trade between PETRY and Matheson. Now, one reason now the Montreal Canadiens, before they make a trade, they really go deep on their analytics department. They really look about the number. I'm not saying because the number make a trade, but that help. It's another big tools you have on your toolbox to figure out what kind of player they are. And here, an example of Mike Matheson. I know, guys, this is not big for the number. They are really small, maybe on your phone. I can understand that. But when you compare both players, PETRY and Matheson. You can see Matheson have an advantage of 5 versus 5. That's really, he was great last season. And you can compare him, his number, individual stat, all strength, advantage Matheson most of the time on goal, on a point, and on shot. And that helping him a lot for me on the analytics department to compare both players. 5-on-5, the shot sharing, the goal sharing. Again, Matheson was pretty good. On offense, you can see the high danger of Matheson was good, pretty even on shots percentage. On the defense, again, Matheson was a bit better to PETRY, but we know Montreal was not a great team, so we cannot complaining for Jeff PETRY. So overall, by those kind of number, that give you an idea what they look like on the analytics. Let's move on to the shedding cap. Montreal Canadiens, guys, I believe they need to drop a couple of $1 million. And we understand possibility, Carey Price, Paul Biron could be a long-term injury reserve. But before that, I think Montreal Canadiens are looking to add another right defenseman and maybe trade one players under roster. And I look around all the team, and I think Seattle Kraken could make a trade with the Montreal Canadiens. They still have $10 million on the salary cap. They have 20 players right now, so they need to sign 3 more players, Seattle Kraken. They have 2 RFA at that moment, so they could add 1 more player from any other team. One player Montreal could trade to them, I think, is Joel Armia. Armia is carrying a salary cap at 3.4 AAV, and I think Montreal is getting to have more winger in the future. Armia, I don't see him too much on the depth chart for the Montreal Canadiens, and they're going shedding their cap if they trade Joel Armia. Another possibility, if Paul Biron could become an asset for the Arizona Coyotes, they are missing about $2 million to reach the minimum Arizona Coyotes. They're already 23 players signed. Biron could add their situation for the Arizona Coyotes to reach their minimum. And then Biron carrying a 3.4. Worst case, Arizona could use him and put him on the long-term injury reserve. For me, it would not be good to trade Drouin, Allen, and Dadonov during the offseason. They have to wait until the trade deadline to get a better asset and return again for Drouin, Allen, and Dadonov. All 3 players are become UFA for season 23-24, and they could get a picks or prospect in return. Now, the Montreal Canadiens announced yesterday they signed the goaltender Samuel Montembeault, when he was claimed off of the Florida Panthers last season, played 38 games with Montreal. He have a save percentage of .891, goal again average of 3.37, 8W, 18 loss, 6 tie. Look, he was drafted by the Florida Panthers, 77 overall in 2015, 3rd round. Play in NHL so far, 63 games. He have a goal again average of .891 and a 3.54. Look, if something happened for Carey Price or Jake Allen, Montembeault could become the backup for both goaltender if they need it. Let's move on to the next one. Here we go. We talked a little bit last week about the Montreal Canadiens have 3 prospects. It's going to be for Team Canada training camp for the World Junior Championships going to start in August. 3 of them are Joshua Roy, Riley Kidney, and Howard Beck. But the Montreal Canadiens don't expect 3 other players. They have Caden Coley for the Team Canada, Sakowski and Mezar for the Slovakia Team U20 to join their team to play at the World Junior Championship. I think Coley just tried to recover for his injury, prepare for the training camp, rookie for the Montreal Canadiens. Same situation for Sakowski and Mezar. They play a lot of games since the last 16 months. Possible they prefer keep him rest and be ready for the training camp with the Montreal Canadiens. So let's move on, guys, for the Laval Rockets. I give you a little bit deeper on the Montreal Canadiens, their affiliation with the American Hockey League. What's happening now for the Laval Rockets? Every year, the American Hockey League have a turnover. Montreal lost about 8 or 9 players. The forward they have already in their team is Pinard, Ellis, Mizak, Ilonen, Abandonado, Martel, Gignac, Belzil, Destel, Snar, and Bourque. Honestly, it would be the first year for Mezak to play in American Hockey League. They had Henneman, Francis, Richard, Mézard, and Stephen. We know Mézard could be play in OHL or return in European. They are the new additional players for the new, Laval Rocket. And defense, Fairbrother return like Norlander. Bello, Calipo are new players. And then Schoenemann are going to be with the Laval Rocket if you don't make the roster for the Montreal Canadiens. New players going to join them. Kenan Coley could be American or Montreal Canadiens. Aber A. Jack is going to be the one to watching. New player is Beauregard, Santo Rami. Les Kenan return with the Montreal Canadiens organization. And then Matheson Bowie is a new player. Goaltender, right now they have Montembeault. New addition goaltender are Philippe Desrosiers and Joe Verbedik. Finally, the free agent played for the Laval Rocket last year. They are not signed yet. Is Kaden Primo, Kevin Poulin, both goaltender. Vedemo, Nico, Paquette, Baudin, and Ducharme are still a free agent. So I just want to share with you what's happening with the Laval Rocket. Finally, new signature for the NHL around the league. The San Jose Sharks signed 2 players. First, Luke Kunin. Got him on the trade with the Nashville Predator. And then the goaltender, Capo Kakkonen. Kakkonen came for the trade for the Minnesota Wild. Both got a 2-year contract at $2.75 million. The Arizona Coyotes signed the NHL Draft 2022, their first-round pick, Connor Kiki, as an entry-level contract. Finally, same situation for the UFA and NHL. Nobody signed. It will be something we have to follow up every single days. Here we go, guys. Let's conclude episode number 72. Hopefully you enjoy it. And please, before we leave, we invite you, don't forget to click on the likes. You know the drill. Sharing this video. And below this video, tell me what you think about the episode number 72. And finally, remember, you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, blessing day, everybody.